It's so good to be with you. And this month we've been focusing on the mental body and what to do with the mental body. That tells us all kinds of stories of how insufficient we are, and how unworthy we are, and how we're not good enough. This story in our mind, but we can't override the story. Many of us have tried that with positive affirmations and giving ourselves the opposite story and hoping that we'll believe it. But this feeling of not good enough is really pervasive. And if we go through the chakras, it could be that I'm not safe enough, or I'm not connected enough, or I'm not worthy enough, or valuable enough, or I'm not lovable enough, or I'm not seen or heard enough, or I don't matter enough, or I'm not smart enough. So whatever the not enough is, it's part of the human condition. And no matter where we are in our level of consciousness and our spiritual evolution, the ego mind, the left brain, the linear aspect of us that's here to keep us safe, is unfortunately programmed with this concept of I'm not enough. And for some of us, it's louder than others. But there are a few origins of the not enough. And I thought it would be valuable to examine those origins so that when we go into meditation on this, we know what to do with that not enough feeling or that not enough story. So if you've been a part of my work over these years, you know that I talk about the trauma packets. These experiences when we're young, when we're 4, 5, 6, we spilled glitter glue on the kitchen table. Dad hates glitter. And next thing you know, we're being yelled at. Or we're being abused by our alcoholic or narcissistic parent. So whether it's a big T or a little t, like glitter glue, these experiences really do get frozen in our bodies and will be lodged or located in a specific chakra, which will determine our flavor, our individual flavor of not enoughness. So I see a lot of people with trauma whose parents have passed suddenly when they were a child, or they were neglected and just weren't paid attention to. These experiences will be stored in different spaces within us and will reverberate for the rest of our lives. The 5-year-old brain puts together, I must not be worthy of my mom's attention. The 5-year-old brain cannot understand that mom's just working full time and trying to pay the bills, right? So the 5-year-old brain makes it about me, and I must not be enough. I must not be loved. So when we're putting together the entire concept of our worthiness based on a 5-year-old brain, and then internalizing that literally within the trauma packets, which affects how we think, how we feel, what our nervous system state of regulation is, what we feel energetically, what we feel spiritually, all really started in those seed experiences when we're a kid, stored in those trauma packets. And then from that space of those traumas, and a trauma is defined by anything that overwhelms our system and we don't have a supportive adult to help us through. That's the definition of childhood trauma. I mean, this happens on the playground. It happens with our siblings. It happens all the time, where a 5-year-old can get overwhelmed by an experience in life and cannot understand. So this gets stored, and then for the next 40 years, we're reverberating and practicing and building the neurosynaptic pathways in our brain and giving off neurotransmitter and hormones that are really consistent with I'm not enough. Or I'm not smart enough. I'm not smart enough. Oh, see, that's why, because I wasn't smart enough. And that's because I wasn't smart enough. And they're not paying attention to me because I'm not smart enough. And then well-worn circuitry is built in the brain. Before we have a rational mind, we don't have a rational mind until we're 25 years old. So we're putting the foundation of our beliefs about ourselves and our world together with a 5-year-old consciousness. And then, as we know, body keeps the score. This gets stored in the body and becomes our base belief systems. I'm not smart enough. I'm not safe enough. I should have been able to do that. I didn't do that. I don't matter. My parents are working too much. It's not because we're poor. It's because I don't matter. Okay? So irrational cause and effect is set up within ourselves because we're setting up our entire internal infrastructure from a space of not having the big picture. And so the infrastructure of I'm not enough gets set up so early from potentially the most benign situations. When people come to us for soul retrieval work to heal depression and anxiety, they think it's the big T trauma that we're going to be working. And then we get into the body and it's a 5-year-old experience where they just didn't get the cupcake at the birthday party and they assumed it was because they were bad and wrong. It's a benign situation very often that's living in the body of when that child internalized vibrationally that I'm different or I'm wrong or something's wrong with me. So all of us have this at some level. All of us have a certain level of not enoughness. It is the human condition and will often cause a lot of suffering for many decades, for many lifetimes. So added onto this are family lineage karmic patterns. Okay, so that's just our personal experiences. And we can talk about past lives if you believe in that kind of thing, but we don't actually need to, because whatever not enoughness you carried from last lifetime, it will happen at a birthday party around cupcakes and it will be inserted in this lifetime. So no worries. You don't have to go digging to the past lifetimes if you believe in that. It all is right here. It's all been delivered in as a samskara or an imprint right here in this life, which makes it clean. Because what we know is what kind of not enoughness we're carrying right here, right now. And even though it happened in the past and it's reverberating in the present, we can heal the past in the present if we work with what is right here, right now. That's where our power lies. It doesn't lie in analyzing our mother or our father or analyzing any of that. The power of that shift occurs in this present moment, right here. Okay, so we've internalized this flavor. What's your flavor of unworthiness? Why don't we make light of this? Why don't we giggle at this and be like, oh, I made up that I'm fat and ugly and therefore no one will ever accept me. What did you make up? Why would we want to do that? So that we stop believing it. Okay? It wasn't true when it was inserted into our body and we decided it at 5 years old, and it's not true now. So what we need is a well-developed awareness layer of ourselves, wisdom body, to be able to be like, oh, I stored this very real vibration in my body of I'm unacceptable or unlovable. And even though it feels real, it's an old program that lives and vibrates within my body. And it may not be unique to me, as I was saying. My mother and her mother may have decided they were ugly and beauty was the only way to be accepted in their tribe. So it may have been a lineage belief system that got very beautifully and systematically programmed inside my body. I'm not safe. I'm not worthy of connection. I'm not valuable. I'm not lovable. I don't matter. Whatever it is. What's important for you is, do you know what got installed inadvertently in the vibration of your body? And do you know that it's probably not true? Because here's the difficulty. This gets well worn into our circuitry at such a young age that we believe it. It becomes part of our operating system. We assume it's true because it's firing in our neural circuitry as the framework of life. So if you will, breathe into your belly and connect with the part of you that doesn't feel like you are enough. Take a deep breath. It's right there. It's in your thoughts. You might have to excavate it from your thoughts. When I go in, I hear, you're not a good mother. You did this badly today. Or I hear, your body's broken. Something's wrong with you. It's right at the surface, unless you've buried it. So as you go in and you locate it, see if you can feel where it lives in your body. That thought, that originating seed, I'm not safe. I'm going to die. That's probably in the base of your spine or in your legs. I'm not worthy of connection. I'm abandoned. I'm neglected. That's probably in your low belly. I don't have control. I'm not valuable in your upper belly. Do you feel it in your chest? That's I'm not loved or cared for. Do you feel it in your neck? That's I'm not seen. I don't matter. So whether you can feel it or not, know that it's old. This is software that you installed before you had a rational mind, before you knew better. Now, your prefrontal cortex may have been rewired through 10 years of therapy to know at some level I must be worthy. At some level I must be enough. But that goes at odds with what you feel in that part of your body, right? At some level, I know my body is functioning well, but I feel like I'm dying because I have a frozen shoulder. So connect with that part of you that really does believe that this is the deepest truth, that you're broken, you're not enough. And be with that vibration so that you can know it to be an old vibration that was implanted from a past life, from an early childhood trauma experience. And as you feel that in your body, just notice if there's pressure, movement, emptiness, cold, hot. And be with that sensation without trying to make it go away. Just be with it. Oh, my shoulder hurts. I feel broken. I feel like my body's betraying me. Oh, I have a belief that my body's bad. Let me be with that. Let me feel that. Deep breath into your body as you feel the not enough. So you're not trying to reprogram it or make it go away. You're trying to embody this. You're trying to be with this old belief built on an irrational set of thoughts. And as you be with it, see if you can feel the compassion for that part of you that actually believes that you're broken, that you're not enough. You can call the divine in, you can be in your highest consciousness. Just be with that part that really feels that in your body. And feel the awareness or the love or the compassion for yourself having had to carry that belief, that trauma back in. I don't know enough. I'm not smart enough. And I know that some of you might be feeling like, well, what do I do with that? We feel it. We're with it. We're just with it. But it feels terrible. That's okay. It's just a sensation. Just be with it. Because even though you've felt this most of your life, you've been in resistance to it. And right now we're just breaking down the resistance to that deep-seated fear in your body of not being enough. And as you're with it, that sensation, as you bring your awareness and your feeling senses into it, just notice what it feels like as you're with it. Does it get louder or worse, or does it get more dissipated and less scary? Bring your breath into it. We're not trying to get rid of it. We're just trying to be with it. This has been a governing belief, a trauma packet sensation. It's probably helped inform all of your decisions in life, this not enoughness. See if you can feel okay in the presence of this old not enoughness feeling. It's here. It's old. It's probably not true. So I don't have to be scared of it. And as you deepen your breath into that space, as you allow that old feeling and belief, notice how you're not it if you're looking at it. If you're observing your not enoughness, you are no longer merged with your not enoughness. Breathe here. As you build this awareness of this not enoughness thing that runs on autopilot through the neurocircuitry and neurochemistry of your body, through your nervous system, through your energy field and your chakras, as you observe this whole auto-associated set of functions that happen in your body without you doing anything, allow yourself to feel the choice point here. Allow yourself to observe whether you merge with the not enough or you continue to just watch it and feel it. What does it look like to merge with it? To merge with it is to go with the thoughts of I'm not safe, oh, this is the reason why I'm not safe, and this person makes me unsafe, and I'm totally never safe, and my body's not safe. That would be merging with it. Right now, we're breathing and feeling it and observing it. We're tolerating the sensations of it, even though it's uncomfortable. And every moment we do that, we're getting space from it. Allow your breath in your upper belly, massaging your vagus nerve, giving the signals to your brain that you're safe in the presence of this not enoughness trauma packet. As you do this, you're balancing the brain. You're going from trauma brain to thinking brain. Animal brain and thinking brain are now active at the same time. So in this moment, you're rewiring your brain so that your rational mind can get on board while your trauma brain is active. You're building the neural pathways in your brain that this not enoughness thing may not be true. You're creating the potential for some space. Can you feel that? Deep breath into your upper belly. Slow exhale. So while you're feeling the not enoughness, allow that thinking brain, which is now online, to help build the case as to how that's not true. So for me, with my broken body and my frozen shoulder, I might say, okay, yeah, I can't move my shoulder, my right shoulder, but 90% of the rest of my body can move fluidly. I can still get around. I'm relatively pain-free. My body's not actually broken, even though it might feel broken because I lost function of a shoulder. If you feel unsafe, you might notice that you're actually safe in this moment. If you feel unlovable, you might feel how much love you're giving yourself in this centering in this moment. If you feel unseen, you can simply turn your video on and let me gaze at you so you can feel seen in this moment. I see you. I see you. I see you too, Miranda. So while you're with this feeling of not enough, you're actually feeling the enoughness. Can you allow yourself to feel safe and connected and worthy and lovable and like you matter and that you're seen, that you're good enough? And if you can you hold that and the not good enough at the same time? Instead of yo-yoing back and ping-ponging back and forth, can you feel the not good enough and the good enough? Allow them both to coexist at the same time in the same body. So I feel a little broken because my shoulder is not functioning And I'm feeling so grateful that my knee doesn't hurt anymore and that I don't have pain anywhere else. And that my body gets up in the morning and functions. So here's the choice point. Which of these two vibrations do you want to amplify? The well-worn pathway of not enough, or the feeling of the part of you that does feel safe enough, smart enough? And the word enough here is the most important part. I feel safe enough. I'm smart enough. Today I'm smart enough. I'm not the smartest person, but I'm smart enough. My kids are safe enough. They're not doing the safest things, but they're safe enough. I'm loved enough. I got this person and this person. I got some love coming in. That's enough. I'm functioning enough. Got a lot on my plate, few things falling through the cracks. It's okay. It's good enough for now. Can you allow this you to be enough as is right now? That is a decision. Are you willing to make the decision that even though I have chronic Lyme and all of these infections and a frozen shoulder and lymph nodes that are sore all the time, that I'm still healthy enough? That is going to have to be a decision that I make. And it's because I make that decision that I can amplify healthy enough. I'm healthy enough. By someone else's standards, they wouldn't call me healthy. By my standards, I'm healthy enough. I'm getting through my days. Is that enough? Can that be enough? So I challenge you to make the decision in the space of that which is not enough, in the feeling of this old vibration of not enough. Can I make the decision? No, Kim, it's okay. It's enough. I do this with my parenting. Am I a great parent? I'm not really measuring up to my standards there. So you hear me joking a lot. I'm a B- parent. I'll take a B. It's good enough. Why do I do that? Why do you hear me say that? Because I'm meeting myself where I am and I'm telling myself it's enough. A B is good. It's good. It's good enough. It's good enough for me. I'm choosing to make a B a good enough parent. I can choose to make a B a bad parent, but I'm choosing that a B is good enough for this lifetime. Always striving for that A. So what decision do you need to make about your enoughness that helps to rewire the way you think about that specific flavor of unworthiness? I'd love to see you type this in the chat. What are you deciding is enough? What are you deciding is smart enough, seen enough, good enough? And how might you hold that in your consciousness equally when you're feeling this old sensation of not enough. You see, it's not enough to say an affirmation that you don't believe. It's not enough to be like, I am strong, I am lovable, because your body won't believe that. I'm a perfect parent. No, my body's like, wrong. Not a perfect parent. So how do I get myself on board to know what's enough? Someone says, showing up for myself every day is doing enough. Yeah. I'm always doing the very best I can for myself, even if it's not my expectation. Do you know what's where people get really trapped is when they think about their potential. Potential is a bit of a fantasy. So for me to see my potential as a parent as being like a sing-song, lovey-dovey parent, that's my potential. That, in fact, actually is a fantasy that I set up expectations about that is not based in the past data that I have for myself, which is the most reality that I can do. So what if I didn't aim toward being the cleanest diet or the most perfect whatever? I'm healthy enough. I'm a good enough mother, wife, friend, yes. I'm a good enough yoga teacher. Right. How many people are saying, I can't be a teacher? I'm not good enough. Well, what if you're good enough? What if what you are is good enough and it's better than nothing? What I share with my associates and others is good enough for the people we care for. I'm a good enough guide. I'm a spiritual teacher. I'm a good enough spiritual teacher. I may not get them to enlightenment, but I'll get them a couple of steps. That's good enough. Oh my gosh, what a revolutionary concept. The decision that I'm good enough. I'm safe enough to let go of what other people think of me. What I think of me is enough. Keep going, you guys. This is where the rubber meets the road in our decision of enough. I'm healthy enough. I got up this morning. So this is a practice. I'm healed enough, right, Anne? So you guys, I do this with the level 3 folks, those who are in our healing program, because there is a point where we need to determine that we're healed enough in order to serve in a big way. What I think of me is enough. What I accomplished today is enough. Even if I don't really accomplish anything, that's enough. All is good. The minute something goes a little off track, my plan, I do this bad talk, but I can control this. I am enough, regardless of the outcomes. Awesome. Yes. I'm loved enough by my friends and family, my friends and daughter. I'm smart enough to finish my coursework. I'm healthy enough to do what I need to do. All right, you guys are getting it. So we're not saying I'm like the most healed person in the world or I'm the most enlightened person. It's just what we are is enough. And we're making that conscious decision that it's enough so that we can be at peace with ourselves, which is great. Enough. So I hope you take that with you, and I hope you can play with this and establishing beliefs around your enoughness and having some humor about it. So that we can live at peace with ourselves, which is the most important thing, I think. So I wish you many blessings. Thank you for coming on today. Thank you to those listening to the recording. Because as you practice your enoughness, we pass that to our children so that they can feel enough. And when you feel enough and you look at your kid at what they did, which was not really what you wanted them to do, you can look at them and be like, well, that's good enough. And then we create the ripple of enoughness in our world, which is a really beautiful vision, in my opinion. Thank you all so much. I love you. Blessings on your enoughness, and have a beautiful week.